This is how to raise triple your hackathon budget. My name is Chris, and apparently I like to laugh a lot in all my photos. I currently study computer science at the Missouri University of Science and Technology, and our mascot is a miner, and he holds a pickaxe, which is why our brand new hackathon was called Pickaxe. Woohoo! To give you some context, I started from scratch. Pickaxe had basically no money, no legacy list of contacts. I had no experience, and I had no idea what I was doing. And because we were like 7 people, I was basically the only person who was doing sponsorship. So, here's a quick rundown of what I'll be talking about. These are 5 of the main tips that helped me raise triple my hackathon budget and will hopefully get y'all that bread. So, my first tip is to reach out to your first and second degree connections. I personally believe that this is honestly the best way to reach out to companies, as they believe in you and trust you, and they do want to support you, so it has the highest success rate. For example, last summer I interned at Union Pacific Railroad, and I talked with full-time employees and the recruiters, and I was able to add Pickaxe to their recruiting budget. Also, oops, something is wrong. Okay, cool. Half of our organizing team actually interned at AT&T, so they were super down to support us as well. And then, cool story, a few decades ago, my mom was hired into MasterCard via a senior manager, and so initially wanting MasterCard to sponsor my hackathon, I was like, Mom, who's your senior manager? And after some research, it actually ended up that he is currently the CIO of Panera, and so he ended up being our top sponsor, and he came to our hackathon and gave a keynote speech too. So that was pretty awesome. MasterCard also sponsored as well. My second tip is to reach out to everyone and everything related to your school. They honestly have an invested interest in your success, so definitely take that into advantage. So for example, TradeBot is a company that heavily recruits on our campus. They hire a bunch of students, and they ended up being one of our first sponsors. Secondly, my College of Engineering and Computing supports projects and research and events that help increase the reputation of my university, and Pickaxe was one opportunity to do so, and so they threw some money at us as well. And then Pickaxe is under my university's chapter of Association for Computer Machinery. And because Pickaxe was one of the largest events throughout the year, the president dedicated some of his budget to Pickaxe. It also helped that he was my best friend, so. My third tip is to reach out to companies in your local area, as they are more willing to support events in their own community. So for example, our theme was athletics, and I really wanted the St. Louis Cardinals to get involved. They're one of the best baseball teams in the world. And so I reached out to the data team, and they were actually super enthusiastic about sponsoring a local event. Another reason to reach out to local companies is because they receive fewer sponsorship requests. And for example, our sponsor, Enterprise Holdings, we were the only hackathon that reached out to them, and so that's in the bag. And then finally, with local companies, you can actually meet and talk with them in person, which gives the relationship more depth. And so that's what we did with our sponsor, Software Design Partners. We actually met them in their headquarters in Chesterfield, which you probably don't know where Chesterfield is, but cool. And then my fourth tip is to go to events and conferences outside of your local area, as you will have the opportunity to reach out to companies that you normally don't have access to. So for example, last year I went to Grace Hopper, the Forbes Under 30 Summit, and the Startup Grind Global Conference. And I also went to a few company events as well. And honestly, going to these events makes your sponsorship requests stand out, because not a ton of people go to events, have that dedication, have that initiative to talk to these companies about sponsorship, and it makes you stand out from the rest of the crowd. And all these companies actually didn't sponsor Pickaxe, unfortunately, but maintaining and developing that relationship is crucial so that your hackathon can reach out in the future. And my final tip is to cold contact. It's honestly not, it doesn't have a great success rate, but people are generally nice and will potentially respond, so definitely take that risk. For example, I wanted an athletics company that dealt with data analytics. And so I reached out to Sportradar on LinkedIn. I searched for a senior manager, and I sent him a connection request. I added a note, and then a couple hours later, he responded, and we started chatting, and then eventually I got them to partner with us. Another way to reach out is via email. I've heard that Linode had sponsored a bunch of hackathons in the past, but I honestly didn't really know where to find that email. And so I went on their website, and I found their support alias, and I emailed that. And then I eventually got to the event community manager at Linode, and they were able to sponsor. A tip for emailing is to use a tool called hunter.io. It's honestly amazing. You put in the person's name, and then put in the company name, and it'll give you a really good suggestion of what their email address is. So some of y'all might be thinking, triple, no way. And that was honestly my thought as well. I didn't think I would raise that much money. And so my initial goal during the first couple peer groups with Jamie and Chi was to raise $25,000. And then a month before PickHacks, I was able to raise over $77,000. And so that's it. And if you're interested, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn or talk to me here. Thank you.